Hey everyone, the numbers are in for January 2021 for three communities: Breakfast Point, Palmetto Trace, and Whisper Dunes. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I want to talk a little bit different about this market update or give you some different information. I want to talk about getting to this right here. We're talking about selling a property for $35,000 more than the previous highest offer that we received. If you want the short version and you don't want, this is probably going to be about a 15-minute video. If you don't want to watch the entire 15 minutes, just know this. This is the kind of market where pricing is very important. Pricing is always important when selling, but in this kind of market, whoever's handling the marketing for you really needs to understand just how hot this market is compared to the last 15 or 20 years in this area. We're in the kind of extreme market where buyers are extremely motivated. And I'm constantly hearing stories of, wow, we had 5 offers in 24 hours. Woo, we got a contract in 36 hours. And I know in plenty of cases, that's a good thing for the seller. Someone's thinking about selling and they want to move and get a contract very quickly. That can be a good thing. And I also know that price is not always the main motivation for selling. I know that getting the highest price isn't always the primary goals. Plenty of times there are other terms and conditions in contracts that can be more appealing. But if you're most interested in hearing how we can arrive at this $35,000 more, we just completed this transaction. I want to walk you through this and explain to you what's happening here. But first, before we do that, you need to understand again my months of inventory number. Remember, when I'm looking at these couple charts, months of inventory traditionally in real estate meant 5 or 6 months, or months of inventory came about because in a normal market, traditionally, it would take 5 or 6 months to work through the process of selling real estate. It would take time for marketing to get going. Now, that this is in the days of newspaper ads and magazine ads, mostly. This is pre-internet. So it would take, a good 30 or 45 days for marketing to get out into the market. It would take a few months for showings to happen. You get into contract negotiations. Not all offers work out. And then once you get to contract, it takes 30 or 45 days to get to a closing. That entire process would normally take 5 or 6 months, normally. You've heard me talk over and over again about, the smaller the number, the lower the number, the hotter the market. So if that whole process is only taking 3 months, that means more people are interested, things are happening much faster. If that whole process only takes 1 month, meaning getting marketing going, contract negotiations, contract closing all happens inside of 30 days, that's extremely fast for real estate. So let's take a look real quick at these communities. Breakfast Point, the resales. Right now, for the last 2 months in the resale market in Breakfast Point, we're sitting at 0. It doesn't get any hotter than that. 5 or 6 months is normal. Look at where we've been. We've been at 2 months, 0.17. October, we were at 0. November, 1.5. December and January, 0 months of inventory. In which one is this? Whisper Dunes, months of inventory is not even available. 1.5 months in December, under 1 month of inventory in October and November. Under 1 month. Palmetto Trace, this includes the townhomes and the detached single-family units. Same thing. Look, 2 months of inventory November, December, 0.2. January, 0. 0 months of inventory. If you just need to digest that for a minute. Normal is 5 or 6 months. Maybe it could be argued that it's 4 or 5 months anymore because we can get marketing going that much faster. Right now, we're seeing extreme numbers in the market, especially in these communities. These are some of the more popular communities in the neighborhood in Panama City Beach. So when you go to price, it's very common for especially real estate agents who are trained to come in and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here are the last 4 months, 6 months of sales, from here to here. And so the average is here. So let's price there. And of course, you're going to get 5 offers in the first 24 hours. There's nothing for sale. Buyers are motivated, and you're pricing in the past. This is the kind of market where you can get aggressive on pricing. This is the kind of market where we're seeing appreciation. So as a seller, we should be pricing higher than what's been happening. You need to have some strategies on how to close a transaction that's priced over recent sales, having to deal with appraisers and those kinds of things. That's a different video, and very important. But let's look at this again. So let me just run through this very quickly with you. This particular property we listed for sale on October 27th for $534,900. And let me show you some of the things that were happening with the showing activity. So early on, this is showings per week. So this was 2 showings here. We didn't have one this week. 2 showings this week, another week. We're getting into the off season here, or the holidays, and so it's not unusual to see a little less activity. This is by week. So 2 showings this week. All of a sudden, we had a spike this week to 5, and that's the week that we changed the price to $529,900. And so look, we took almost a month and a half of letting the marketing get out there, letting people look at the property, look at emails, look at websites. We also were patient through the holidays because we know the holidays are a little bit slower. We changed the price, immediately got a little extra attention. These are not only the showings, but of course, interest spiked online. We settled down to another month, a showing here, 3 showings here, another showing there, and we finally got to contract. So before I get to that part, so here's some of the feedback that we were seeing from the showings. In this one, 3 people weren't interested. 2 were very interested. Couple somewhat, couple maybes. They said their experience was good. One of them rated the property the worst. 4 of them rated it not quite the best. Some of the feedback was, this is my favorite unit. This is a lower floor. This is a condo, but it's the same concept. They wanted a lower floor. This one felt like the price was too high and suggested, hey, price it lower. Price too high, not interested. And here's the process of actually getting through to find the person who's going to pay the most. It's not just the first person. Look at all the showings that tried to happen and couldn't happen. A couple of these showings couldn't happen because there were some tenants that we couldn't get in. Here's some more showings that happened. We worked through all of these showings, and now look what happened through the process. In December, we had an offer at $470,000. The seller rejected that one. January 31st, that's pretty patient. Another almost 2 months, month and a half here. They got another offer at $480,000. In the meantime, in January, we had offers coming in verbally. Agents won't even take the time sometimes to write an offer. Maybe they think it's not serious, but text messaging or emailing offers is always interesting to me, but or emailing verbals. But 3 verbal offers came in, $460,000 to $475,000. So the market is clearly sending us a message here of $460,000 to $475,000, $480,000 is where so many people think that this property is worth. The seller was patient. On February 2nd, he told me he was just tired of fielding lower offers. So he said, hey, Craig, if an offer comes in below 510, just reject it. Don't present it to me. It's really interesting timing on this one. On the 3rd, we got an offer for 510. The seller negotiated and got a contract at $515,000, $35,000 more than the previous highest offer that we received. $480,000 had been the previous highest offer. Patience, people in this market will reap benefits again if you have the time. And remember, if we go back to those months of inventory in a normal time for process for selling real estate, this only started in October 27th. So what is that? November 27, December, January, just a little over 3 months. 3 months is still a hot market in a lot of ways when you think about it. So just remember this: if you know anybody who's selling, and you can really apply this almost anywhere across the country. We talk to a lot of agents all over the nation, and we're seeing these kind of markets all over the place. Buyers are extremely motivated. Buyers are finding ways to close deals. Buyers want to buy. And combine that with the fact that we're in a market that isn't just warm or hot. It might not feel like it day to day when you're going out and just living your life. You're going to work, you're going, playing with the kids, whatever it is. But the real estate market is really, really obscenely busy in this area. So if you're in Breakfast Point, if you're in Palmetto Trace, if you're in Whisper Dunes and you're thinking about selling, make sure whatever research you're doing or any advice that you're getting, you're talking to someone who is not just looking at where the past pricing has been. It's an important place to start, but make sure you're talking with someone or you're considering just how high you can price something. The final example, and I think this hammers home the point. We just put a house up for sale in Breakfast Point on Friday. Today is, what's today? Wednesday. Friday, the plan was to do sort of a coming soon campaign. And just from talking to agents and people hearing about things, we already had 2 people on Friday that wanted to see it. We haven't even taken photos yet. The sellers haven't even really set the home up for staging, but we have people saying, hey, please, 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 can we get in? The previous highest price of this model floor plan in Breakfast Point from the builder, new, was $538,000. Same floor plan, 2 years old, so a used product, but still new in design and colors and those kinds of things. We're asking $575,000. We've already had 4 requests for showings and 1 offer over the $538,000. That's the kind of market we're in. There's nothing in the data that says that house should be priced over 538, maybe 545, 550 max. People are offering, people are motivated. We need to be thinking about just how high the price can go. And there is definitely a ceiling there, because there's a lot that goes into it, but you have to make sure that people are clicking on links on websites or showing, calling about it, emailing. If you put a price out there that's just obnoxiously high, unreasonably high, or you're not looking at your competition and understanding the analytics, then it's not going to work. But again, Breakfast Point neighborhood, Palmetto Trace, Whisper Dunes, you're in high demand. Make sure you're pricing aggressively if you have the time to work through the process. If you need a contract in 24 hours, don't do this. If you have 3 to 4 to 5 months to get something closed, 6 months, the normal timeline to do things, then this is the strategy. I hope you guys find this helpful. I'm just seeing it over and over again. I have 3 more of these I want to talk about. Another house in Hidden Pines, another condo that we did, same scenario, that the sellers were patient, priced aggressively, and it didn't take very long. We have a house in Hidden Pines that had multiple offers. I want to say inside of a month and a half, she had a contract for $15,000, $18,000 more, just by waiting and being patient and letting the process work. So if you guys know anybody who's thinking about selling in any market, really, make sure maybe share this video with them and talk about having just a little bit of patience. It's not about being on the market forever, but it's just give the normal real estate process the time to work, and you can really reap benefits. Again, I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Hope you guys found this helpful. We'll be back with our normal update on sales. I know a lot of you guys are getting mail from us. If you haven't signed up for our e-alerts already and you really want to stay on top of the market, shoot me a note and we'll get you signed up for those so you can see what's happening in the market in real time. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe. We'll be back to you next month.